Federal government can no longer fund tertiary education. Wow. So federal government can no longer fund tertiary education. That is the news that is coming out here. But meanwhile, they are rolling out student loan program. Okay. And they have even come out to say that the student loan program will start effectively by September 2023 when they will open up a new academic session. So how can you be rolling out a student loan program and you are also saying that you cannot fund tertiary institution anymore? So what is that? That is how do I put it? Okay, that is at variance. So let's see why they say they can no longer fund tertiary institutions. Because actually, our tertiary institutions, especially the ones owned by government, the public schools, are in dilapidated states. Buildings are bad, classrooms are leaking and no chairs, and study environment is very, very bad for students. Security is also another big issue in the campuses today. Lecturers are not well paid. Learning infrastructures are zero. Okay, so I don't understand. In a keynote speech she delivered at the Maiden Tertiary Education Summit themed Fresh Ideas for Overhauling Nigeria Tertiary Education Complex the next day, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin, Professor Lilian Salami, said the country's tertiary education needs a holistic overhaul. The chair of the Committee of Vice Chancellors of Universities of Nigeria identified outdated curriculum, low quality staff, corruption, a decline in student reading culture, government agencies operating outside the mandate and confusion, quota system, internal politics within institutions, and low quality of students as challenges facing tertiary education in Nigeria. That is so much, man. Professor Salami further submitted that the federal government could no longer fund tertiary education and that parents need to bear the cost of educating their wards, she said. There is confusion in the system in doing the same thing and returning to the same place. New ideas are therefore needed to overhaul the long overdue system. I believe what we need is a holistic approach whereby attention goes to these challenges. We need to redirect the system and walk the talk. Okay, when there is a way, there is a way. Okay, expounding on why she said the federal government could no longer fund tertiary education, she noted that this small budgetary allocation to education in Nigeria's education budget as a stark indication of the government's inability or unwillingness to fund education. She disclosed that her university receives a monthly budget of 11 million naira. In contrast, she spent 77 million on electricity alone, but has to find creative way to run her university. Can you imagine? 77 million for electricity, TFT fund and ETF have been there, but they must be robust. Education is allotted 8.2% of Nigeria's 2023 budget. Ghana allotted 12.8 in 2023, and South Africa allotted 18.4. Okay, at Uniben, we have undertaken the cost of training a student in each department. It takes 3 million to train a medical student per session, but such a student pays only 240 naira over 6 years. Interestingly, this amount is far less than paid in a private secondary school. Some of us pay as much as 380,000 for our child in crèches per term. Students, must pay commensurate fees for their courses of study. We must pay for services rendered. Can you imagine? Salami said students could receive financial help, including bursaries, loans for indigent but brilliant students, alumni association annual levies, scholarships, and others. And then good funding can redress dilapidated equipment and other infrastructure, improve remuneration to motivate teachers, and attract global scholars. She asked ASU to rethink its strike action, saying the union must jettison its obsolete ideas and embrace new ideas on how to seek better working conditions. The union must hold an education summit on how to sustain education. The Committee of Vice Chancellors, CVC, is working on ways to make tertiary education meet international standards to make universities competitive. Curriculum must be updated and must imbibe new teaching methods. E-learning must be adopted. Most courses should be on e-learning. The Uniben VC also said universities should admit their students, saying those admitted for them are an unnecessary burden the university's shoulder. Salami said IPPIS is a dead program that hinders the effective running of universities. Government should allow universities to pay lecturers to determine work rate and excellence. The almighty IPPIS is not the way to go. It is fueling indiscipline, laziness, lack of commitment among teachers. She condemned the proliferation of universities, saying most were glorified nursery schools. And it could be true. Okay, someone just have 2 buildings and they call it a university. It doesn't work. The current system, as approved by the Nigerian University Commission, is unproductive, wasteful, and unsustainable. Institutions do not have to run all programs. The mandate of the University of Agriculture should be on agriculture. Similarly, a polytechnic should be recognized for a certain area of technology. A medical university should be for medical sciences. A situation where a university undertakes courses it is ill prepared for should be over. Exactly. We must courageously avoid amorphous, amoebic, and shapeless programs in tertiary institutions. Earlier, at the opening of the international conference attended by several government agencies, the chairman of the Nigerian Book Fair Trust and organizer of the book fair, Dare Oluwatuyi, expressed pleasure at the quality of guests and the topics of discussion. So exactly that is what the Vice Chancellor of University of Benin, Mrs. Salami, is saying, that federal government can no longer fund the institutions anymore, and the budget is low. Annual budget for education in Nigeria for 2023 is about 8.2%. Meanwhile, South Africa and Ghana have their own almost at 18% respectively. So it is quite unfortunate that we refuse to give priority to education in Nigeria, and that has been happening for a very long time. And it's very simple. When you have uneducated people who don't value education as presidents, what do you get? Buhari does not value education. He doesn't understand what education is. In fact, the Boko Haram that has operated under his nose said Western education is abomination. Now we are getting someone else again, Mr. Tinubu, who is now also the president, who also educational background has an issue. So when you have people who do not value education leading the affairs of the nation, that is what you get. Okay. Again, what Mrs. Salami has told us here is the corruption in the universities as well. The vice chancellors are just like state governors, also spending recklessly in their various universities as well. So the budget that goes to the universities, the chancellors or the vice chancellor determine what they do with it. And so who has audited them? Who has investigated them? Who has checked what they're doing with the funds given to universities, for at least the small one that they are getting? Even though we know it's not adequate, because almost all the universities are in a very dilapidated state. It's a very negative study environment for children, and that is why some people are struggling to put their children in private universities. Okay, but it is obvious that this government cannot fund. And again, that is a very big question. Government actually struggling to fund public-owned schools in Nigeria. Meanwhile, they are rolling out student loans, saying it is starting by September. So what a contrast. How are they going to manage that? That is a question that they need to answer. So thank you for listening. Let's have your comment.